Hello and welcome to the show. Now, when it comes to the Hot Wheels Showdown, there was a time when Japanese cars ruled the table. In fact, there was a time when the top three were Japanese cars. Now, though, the Eclipse is the highest placed of the lot of them in 7th place. Quite a way they have fallen, so it is the chance of the Nissan Fairlady Z is going to be taking on our course, and I reckon stands a pretty good chance of going quick. Whether it's quite going to be Sierra, Cosworth, Ferrari, Testarossa quick or not, I don't know, but it may well stand a chance. And the first thing that we are going to do is, of course, give the vehicle a Liberty Bunny body kit. Now, personally, it's not my favourite of the kits. However, it gives us options to get very, very big tyres, and that is needed on these cars. Bigger tyres as we can get. Very useful indeed. We will want Forza Aero at the rear. Yeah, this particular kit on this car, there's kind of some rather... the fenders kind of just give up halfway around. I don't know, it looks a little bit odd, even with the big tyres. I don't know, it doesn't quite work for me particularly, but it means we can get 265s on the front and 285s on the rear. That is very good for grip. Of course, we'll have the car on the Hot Wheels race tyres. Power-wise, we are going to have to be swapping out the engine. I would be fairly confident in saying that, you know, decent enough standard engine, but when we're trying to get to the top of S1 class, I doubt we're going to be getting the 600-ish horsepower. Maybe not even going to need 600 horsepower. We'll wait and see how the PI is going to work in this vehicle, as I am not sure. Let's just have a look. What engines... Oh, wow. So, yeah, all of them are going to fit and keep the car in A class. This could be a mighty quick vehicle. This could be very scarily fast. Let's have a look at the standard engine's capabilities, shall we? So we have put a turbo on it. If we get as big a turbo as possible, get the camshafts on, yeah, it's not going to... It'll get into S1 class, I have no doubt, but it's never going to get to the top. So, our engine options are the Turbo Rally, which we aren't going to use because rather limited in terms of what you can get power-wise out of it. Good enough engine on its own, but yeah, power-wise is fairly restricted. The i6 that went in the Sierra, the currently sits at the top of the table, so we know it's a good engine. We can have the 2.6 litre i6 twin turbo, or we can have the 6.2 litre V8. Now, which one do we go for? The twin turbo i6 is slightly heavier, but slightly torquier to begin with. 3.2, as I said, we know it's a good engine. It is a fairly light option. The V8, you can't really go wrong with the V8 either. The choices indeed. We'll go for the 2.6. We will go for the, because I don't think I've particularly used this engine. I don't think it goes in that many cars. It isn't the strongest engine in that I think it tops out about 700-ish horsepower, but the weight that this car is sat at 700 horsepower in this would be incredible. Now, considering that engine was a little bit heavier, I will go and stick in the full-on weight reduction. We've still got an entire class to play with, so let's go and throw on power parts and see what we can do. At the end of the day, if this engine doesn't get it to the top of the PI, which, judging by the looks of it so far, might not, we may just dump the V8 in it and be done. That's, if in doubt, throw the V8 in it. Wow. Okay, little bit, gearbox. Just realised what I was going to say. This is going to have a monstrous amount of power. The gearbox, I mean, the gearbox is doing some, but that's surprising, because I mean we're up to pretty much maxing out. I was not expecting to be getting 700 horsepower necessarily in a car this light. Okay then, V8 it is. I was going to go for something different, but that is not going to be the case. V8 we will go for, twin turbo, or we can supercharge it. I'm going for a supercharger on the car. We're going for a complete and utter heretic build on this. However, I want speed. I want speed out of my vehicle. Now, if we go... this isn't the engine. The supercharger is a little bit lighter. This is going to be about the quickest accelerating thing in existence. Or certainly, thing that has gone around the Hot Wheels Showdown. This is going to be an utter monster. It's probably not going to be the most powerful. Well, it's not going to be the most powerful car with the likes of the twin mill, but power to weight ratio wise, this might be one of the highest that we have seen here. Oh god, I'm kind of looking forward to and not looking forward to all at the same time. Like the PI is just not going up in this. It's just stubbornly refusing to move anywhere up to 1,000 horsepower. Either I have done something catastrophically wrong with this car. Did actually like install tyres and stuff? Yeah, we've definitely got tyre widths on the car. It's definitely got tyre widths all around. We've got race tyres. We can clearly see it's got race tyres. It's got the red rings around them. We have got the likes of brakes and so on. And that wouldn't be making the huge gulf in PI that we are kind of experiencing here. 1,000 horsepower and some 800 foot-pounds of torque in a car that weighs only a bit over 2,000 pounds. The power-to-weight ratio is monstrous. The big concern is the grip. Will this car have the grip? I'm just doubly, triply checking to make sure we've got the gearbox. Will this car have the grip to make it around some corners without being a horrendous death trap? There is very much only one way to find out. And that, of course, is to bring our Fairlady Z to the Skyscraper takeoff circuit. I will have 5 laps to try and beat the Sierra Cosworth. A 133.627 is the target time. Now, power to weight ratio, this car has got the Sierra well beaten. It's actually got much bigger tyres than the Ford as well, but the Ford was a very, very nice, very composed car to drive, and likewise the Testarossa in second place had tremendous levels of grip. And I am not sure that our Nissan will. Now, I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. We're definitely not going to be flat out through turn 3. Certainly not through turn 4. It just wants to slither its way. But if we can get the back end in check, the speed is going to be amazing. Now, I probably will be short shifting the car a fair bit around here. I just don't really trust it at all at the moment. It's pretty good through the corners. However, unlike the Testarossa, unlike the Sierra to an extent, there is little trust in this car right now. 175 miles an hour as we jump on the brakes, just about pulling it up in time there. Very, very similar pace to that of the Gremlin, as you might expect. Now, the Gremlin, same engine in these cars, I think very, very similar amounts of power. It might even be the same amount of power, same parts that I put on the two engines. The Gremlin did have bigger tyres than the Fairlady, but you would expect the Nissan to have a better chassis than the AMC, so I'd hope this might be a little bit better suited to dealing with this level of power. 194 miles an hour, kept to around the loop, and that wasn't with an amazing run. This is going to be monstrously fast down here. We jump on the brakes, 226 miles an hour, so we've definitely got the straight line speed. It's a 38.4, not a particularly spectacular opening lap. That is perhaps to be a bit to be expected while I am still very much learning the car here. This, I think, is going to be a little bit too powerful for its own good. It's a little... Oh, come on, find some grip. Oh, that's so close to running into trouble there. He's really, really close to running into trouble. I was not expecting... Oh, damn, you brushed the wall and that's... Oh, God, I was not quite expecting... Well, when you see the tyre size that this car can have, in sort of the ways of the vehicle, I had an expectation of where the power was going to end up at, which was, you know, around the 500, 600 horsepower mark. I wasn't expecting it to let me pretty much max out the vehicle and all stay within S1 class, and if the PI is doing that, you know that something else is going to be compromised, and in this case, it seems to be some composure. It's, yeah, definitely not the easiest of cars to be driving fast. Are we going to slide our way out of that corner? No, not quite. Now, last time around, we did fly very... sort of arse first across here. Looks like we're going to do exactly the same thing, although considerably better run this time in the Fairlady. Can we keep it above 200 miles an hour? Yes, we can. All the way around the loop. That is more like it That is very good indeed. You've got to watch out, though, because, well, that's 230 into the braking zone. I think the fastest we have ever seen anything go here. Didn't see what the lap time was because it was a dirtied lap, but I'll check. Check back through the footage just in case that one happens to be quicker than any we do later on. I don't think we kind of screwed up and bounced off the wall a lot after turn 4 here. Guys, if the car starts sliding when you're trying to get it back into a straight line, it's all very wobbly. It's all very twitchy and unhappy about it. Once it is going, it's not too bad on sort of the old traction side of things. Actually getting it out of the corners, even in the lower gears, isn't too terrible. But as if it just steps out of line mid-corner, you end up getting this big wiggle session trying to get the car back under control. 178 miles an hour to go. I think a fraction faster than the Gremlin. I think it's got 180 down there yet. Maybe with a perfect run I can do it. I mean, we can do it, but we'll never get stopped for the corner. Now, let's not run in quite so high through here. That's more like it. But still, you see the back end wanting to let go through there. We are, though, cleanly around that corner. Up towards the boost pad we go. Flying nicely in the Fairlady Z, which is always good to... Always good to have a car behaving itself across the jump. Not quite as good a run, 5 miles an hour down around the loop, but we still get a mega run, actually get just about as good a run off of the loop. It's kind of cutting to the inside, try and make the most of the downward slope. Seems to be working there, but it's only a 36.2. I think this is just too uncontrollable in many ways for its own good. It just can't carry the quarter speed, and it can't make the most of its acceleration. Cars like the Testarossa might have had half the horsepower of this and been considerably heavier, but the Ferrari could make the most of its speed around a track like this, and the Datsun is, oh god, a bit on the awkward side. A bit on the awkward side, although this lap here is looking a little bit more like it. Now, we have to have a big stop through there, because again, I don't trust getting on the power in this car whatsoever, because it will just light up the rear tyres, although that is a nice run around there. Up towards this big braking zone once more we go. Thankfully the brakes are pretty good. You would perhaps expect them to be on a car this light with lovely, lovely big tyres. But it is reassuring to know that when you're getting 180 miles an hour almost, that you can jump on the brakes and the car is going to get slowed down very, very quickly indeed. I mean, this does put a little bit into perspective just how fast the Dart was. The front-wheel drive Dart that was doing, what was it, 223-ish miles an hour at the bottom of the loop, considering this is only doing about 230, has 1,000 horsepower and so on. That's a testament to just how good the Dodge was. That was a mega run around the loop. It is 230 miles an hour for the Fairlady Z, but we've got to get the car slowed down for that final corner into the 34s, a 34.9 as we head on to the final lap. But a big oversteer moment through turn 1 might have cost us an opportunity to go faster. It's so easy to do as you are trying to find any speed you can in this car. You try to get on that throttle a millisecond earlier and the back end is just so eager. So very, very eager to go round, keep it out of the walls. Yes, we're going to run across the crests there. That's also not a particularly pleasant experience in this. Oh, I was going for it. That was 130 miles an hour, but it just doesn't have the grip to make it work. We've seen about 140 from the Mercedes, from the Testarossa and so on, but no, this lap's gone. This lap is trying to find time over that. Previous lap was bloody good, and trying to find time over that is when we've pushed the car a little bit too hard, and it's not quite worked. Not quite worked at all from this utterly bonkers car, completely different to how I was expecting the build to be ending up. But there we go. Hit the boost pad for a final time. See if we can get any quicker across here. Probably, possibly actually. Was it 202 miles an hour we stayed at around here? Oh, it's a little bit slower. I tried diving down too far. I was going to try and go for the record for fastest speed down here by diving to the inside. It does work to get you a higher speed, but you run the risk of doing that. if you dive down too soon to that inside, if you slightly brush the wall at the speed and angle that you're going there, you're going to have trouble. Surprised it didn't go soaring off into the scenery. Not a great final lap. It was in trouble immediately through turn 1, and then things went a little bit wrong further around and so on. But a 34.9 is pretty good, especially considering the truly lunatic machine that we have got here. This is what it wants to be doing. This is pretty much all it wants to be doing. Is just spin the wheels up like a lunatic. What a bonkers car. It is not enough to make it the fastest of the Japanese cars. It does go right into the middle of the Japanese sector, mind. It is going to go into 9th place. It is a couple of tenths of a second down on the NSX and the Eclipse, but it does beat the Civic Type R, the Porsche 911 GT2. It loses out by, well, almost half a second to the Cadillac CT-SV as a fairway down on the Renault 5 Turbo, a second down on the Mercedes 190e. In fact, not quite exactly a second down on the 190e, but yeah, it's crazy, lunatic, almost death machine. Perhaps a bit easier to drive than the Renault 5, in that the Renault 5 was just twitchy and horrible. This has just got a general lack of grip. Not at all the vehicle that I expected the Fairlady Z to be. I was expecting a lot less power and a lot more grip out of the car. Well, it's interesting, certainly interesting with these lunatic death machines around a circuit like this one. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.